sounds good.
Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to give about another couple seconds, get some more attendees in the room. So I want to welcome you guys here to the University of Cincinnati's presentation during the virtual college exploration for all of our Ohio students. My name's Teresa. I will be facilitating today. So just so you guys know, I'm sure you guys may have participated in some of these before, but just a reminder, if you want to ask a question to our panelists, please feel free to. They love answering questions. You can do that using that Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And then also remember, your mic and your camera are set to off. So although our panelists are not able to hear or see you, they are able to answer those questions using that Q&A button. The OACAC is happy that you guys are able to sign up for today's session, and we want you to sign up for as many sessions as you can. You can check out the schedule of those sessions at oacac.org. And today's session will be recorded. So if you want to go back and reference it afterwards, you are free to do so again at that oacac.org website. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our panelists. I hope you guys enjoy your session.
All right, I apologize, guys. I was having some technical difficulties there. But I hope everyone can hear me. My name is Courtney Matthews. I'm actually one of the admissions counselors at the University of Cincinnati Uptown campus. My role in the office is basically I'm the territory manager for our CPS student population. So in the city of Cincinnati, that is our Cincinnati Public School District. I'm also the program manager for a college access program called the CPS Ambassador Program, which is, like I mentioned, just a college access program for high school students making that transition into college. So today we have about a 15 to 20 minute presentation that I'm going to kind of just give you guys kind of the ins and outs of UC, what we're about, that sort of thing. And then we're going to have a short Q&A, as Ms. Teresa mentioned earlier, so that you all can get your questions answered that you have. And I also have a guest student with me. She's actually a current student at the University of Cincinnati. Her name is Alexis, and she'll be able to help facilitate that Q&A at the end as well. So just give me 1 second here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get started with the presentation. All right, so I hope everybody can see this here. Okay, so jumping right into just some numbers here for you guys. I do again want to welcome you guys to this presentation, and thank you guys for coming to hear a little bit more about what UC has to offer. So University of Cincinnati has a total enrollment of about 46,388 students. I know that this number sounds a little bit large for some students who may be coming from a smaller high school or whatever the case may be. But I'm going to kind of give you some information about this number that may kind of ease your mind a little bit. So as you may know, the University of Cincinnati actually has 3 campuses. So this entire number of this 46,388, it actually comprises of UC Claremont, which is about 35 minutes east of main campus. And then we also have UC Blue Ash, which is about 25 minutes north of main campus. So UC Claremont and UC Blue Ash are 2 regional campuses, as we call them. So the number that you guys want to kind of focus on is a number that I'm going to give you here. And we have about 26,932 undergraduate students on the Uptown campus. So if you're interested in main campus or Uptown campus, as we call it, that's the number of students that you will have to kind of worry about there. But again, breaking some numbers down for you guys, even that number again is kind of broken down into some different pieces here. So of that 26,932 undergraduate students that we have on the Uptown campus, about 4.6 of those students are international students, and then about 21% of those students are out of state, and then about 15.1% of those students are multicultural students. So just again, giving you guys some, I guess, context to breaking those numbers down that we have at the University of Cincinnati. So as far as academics at UC, we actually have over 350 areas of academic study for our students that we offer. And now with this, of course, academic programs, all of our programs are direct admit. And what that means is that, for instance, if you're applying to the College of Nursing, as an incoming freshman out of high school, you will be automatically put into the College of Nursing. So we don't have any waiting periods for applying or anything like that. Your first year, freshman year of college, you will be taking those first year nursing courses. And that's just an example that I like to give students because a lot of students get confused on what direct admit is. But again, just referencing, we do have over 350 areas of academic study for you to choose from. We have a 17-to-1 student faculty ratio, which is really nice for an institution of our size. So typically those freshman courses, they are going to be a little bit larger. However, once you get into your sophomore, junior, senior year, typically those go into your more academic major specific courses. So that's when those classes start to look a little more like that 17-to-1 student ratio. And then we also have 13 academic colleges on our campus. So academic colleges, a lot of students get confused about this as well. So you have the University of Cincinnati umbrella, and then of course you have the Uptown campus, you have Claremont, and you have Blue Ash. Academic colleges are underneath those. So an academic college would be considered the College of Medicine, the College of Nursing, the College of Allied Health, or Arts and Sciences. Those are academic colleges. So we have 13 of those, including those 2 regional campuses that I mentioned. And then we also have our law school and our grad school that make up 13. And then actually going back here, I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. Something else that I want to mention here as far as academic programs, I do want to let you guys know that we do have something at UC called exploratory studies. And typically when I do this presentation in person, I ask students, how many students in the room know exactly what they want to major in when they come to college? And I get a few students who do. But then the next question I ask is, okay, let's reverse it. How many of you do not know what you want to major in? And then I get a lot of hand raises for that. And I say that because we do offer a program called Exploratory Studies, which allows our students to kind of get a feel of what they want to major in. So it's an exploratory program. It lets you explore your options, which is really, really cool. And the other thing that I want to mention about that program quickly is that you cannot obtain a degree in exploratory studies from the University of Cincinnati. It's literally a program to help you kind of figure out where you want to be along the road at University of Cincinnati. So as far as experience and experience-based learning, we actually are 100% student participation when it comes to experience. We're very committed to this piece. This is actually one of the things that we are known for at the University of Cincinnati, because we definitely pride ourselves in giving our students that opportunity to get that experience outside of the classroom. So some of you are probably familiar with the term co-op or have heard of that term before. University of Cincinnati, we actually founded the co-op program in 1906. So we were the first campus to ever have our students do the co-op. And like I said, that was founded in 1906, and it was actually in the College of Engineering that was founded. And it is 100%, as I mentioned. So all of our students have to participate in at least one experience-based component in order to graduate from UC. So every student, no matter what your academic college is, you have to complete at least one experience-based component in order to graduate. And here are just some examples of some of the opportunities that our students have taken advantage of. So as I mentioned earlier, co-ops, but there's also internship opportunities as well. I will say that with co-op, there are 2 academic colleges at the University of Cincinnati Uptown campus that do require the co-op component. It's actually included, it's incorporated in your course of study. So that is the College of Engineering, and then our College of Design, Architecture, and Art Planning. So AKA DAP, if you've ever heard of that. But usually students, the biggest question I get with this is, what's the difference between co-op and internships? So what I tell students is the biggest difference is that a co-op is a guaranteed paid experience, to whereas an internship is a little more flexible. So internships, typically they can be paid, they can be unpaid, just for credit, whatever the case may be. They can also be very flexible when it comes to the term that you complete the internship. So it can be fall, spring, or summer. To whereas co-op on the other hand, as I mentioned, it's a guaranteed paid experience, but also typically the co-op experience is in a rotation within your academic program of study. But just giving you some other examples of things that students have completed as far as experience-based learning. So clinicals, of course, typically are nursing students, medical students, student teaching. If you're interested in education or majoring in education, student teaching would definitely be your experience-based piece. Research, artistic performance learning, service learning, and then capstones, of course. And then there's also plenty of study abroad opportunities. We actually have a study abroad office that is located on campus, which is really, really nice and really convenient. And a lot of students with the study abroad piece, they kind of get discouraged because the first thing that comes to mind when we say study abroad is money. And they think, study abroad is just this big expense that they cannot afford. However, at UC, that study abroad office, there are a lot of resources for our students. And actually, I believe it's about 90% of our students get some sort of funding for study abroad if they are interested in that endeavor. So what I tell students is, if you are interested in study abroad in any kind of way, shape, or form, definitely visit that study abroad office so that you can speak with those advisors there and they can possibly find those resources for you and help you with that piece. So as far as living well on campus, 83% of our first year students actually live on campus. And this is probably the best part about going to college, one of the best parts, living on campus, getting to know people, all of those sorts of things. But something that I want to let you guys know is that although 83% of our first year students live on campus, it's actually statistically proven that students who live on campus and students who get involved actually graduate at higher rates. I don't know exactly where everyone is from that's on this webinar today, but you'll have some students who want to come to UC and they live in the Cincinnati area, but they're trying to decide if it's a better option to live on campus or off. And what I tell students is, at least your first year, definitely live on campus if you can afford it and if it's something that you can that you want to do. But it's definitely, like I said, statistically proven that students who get involved and live on campus graduate at higher rates. So some more statistics about living on campus at UC specifically. We actually have 16 residence halls on campus with 3 styles of living. So we have traditional style, we have suite style, and we have apartment style housing. Now with that, we don't have any restrictions when it comes to freshmen living in apartments or whatever the case may be. Freshmen can live anywhere that they please, as long, as if they want to live on campus. So the only restriction that the University of Cincinnati has on freshmen is if you live outside of a 50-mile radius of campus, you are required your first year and your first year only to live on campus. So that's the only restriction that we have on that. And then jumping into the dining and rec and safety on campus. So of course, where are you going to eat when you live at UC? So if you do decide that you want to live on campus at UC, we actually have 4 dining halls where you can swipe in and out as much as you want. They are all you can eat. For our freshmen, we do have a unlimited plan that students who live on campus have to obtain. And like I said, with that, you're able to swipe in and out of the dining halls as often and frequent as you please from the time that the dining hall opens until it closes. There are plenty of different options available, especially like dietary restrictions and those sorts of things. So there are gluten-free options, there are dairy-free, vegan, vegetarian options, you name it. They pretty much have a little bit of everything for everyone. And as I mentioned, it's all you can eat from the time that the dining hall opens until it closes. So once you're done eating at the dining hall, you'll definitely be feeling refueled and ready to go to the rec center, which is really, really nice. I personally, before COVID, I had a rec center pass, which was really, really nice. So with the rec center, it's actually ranked #1 by Best Student College Reviews. And at the rec center, there's everything in there from an Olympic sized swimming pool. There's a 6 basketball court like area where you can play basketball, throw hoops, however you guys want to say it there, racquetball courts, group fitness. I personally used to take advantage of there was a work and twerk class, which was really just, it was a real workout. Like I didn't believe it at first, but it was a real workout and it was really fun and exciting. But they just have a lot of things that you can do at the recreation center. And the cool thing about this is you don't have to pay any outside fees or anything. You just swipe your Bearcat card because it's already included in your tuition, which is really nice. And then moving on to campus safety, UC is just a really great place to call home, but it's also really safe. I know a lot of people, they get a little discouraged because they say this is the big city and all of those things. But at UC, safety is like one of our #1 priorities, of course. We have a fully certified police department on campus with over 100 sworn in police officers. The res halls are actually locked 24/7, so no one can enter unless they have a Bearcat card and live in that specific residence hall. And then we also have implemented over the years these blue help phones around campus. So basically it's a direct line to campus safety. So if you're ever on campus and you feel unsafe, say you're walking from the library to Calhoun Hall after hours and you feel unsafe, you can hit that blue button, or I'm sorry, it's a red button with a blue flashing light at the top, but you can hit that red button and a police officer will answer that help phone within seconds. So that's something to definitely consider. And then we also implemented something new called Night Ride, which actually started out as a student organization, but the university thought that it was a really, really good idea. So the university actually took it on. And Night Ride basically provides a safe ride within a mile's radius of campus. And it's basically a door-to-door service. It's kind of like Uber for UC students specifically. So there's a number you call and they will come and pick you up and take you from one doorstep to the next within a mile radius of campus. So moving right along into some more things that we offer at the University of Cincinnati. So we do have a bunch of different opportunities to take advantage of course, learning communities. They're usually typically about 20 to 25 other students who basically follow the same schedule. And you're basically in the same dorm, maybe on a couple floors in a specific dorm. Typically, like I said, you'll follow the same schedule. So you're either, maybe you're in the same program in engineering, or you're in a specific honors program, those sorts of things. But those learning communities are available for you. We also have a Generation 1 house, or impact house is what we call it, for first generation students. There's an application process behind that, but that's a learning community that some of our students are able to take advantage of as well. And then just getting into some other things that we offer at UC as far as getting involved. We have over 500 student organizations and clubs on campus, and that includes intramurals, that includes our club sports, and of course our Division I athletics as well. But there's also always something going on our campus, which is really, really nice. And typically I just tell students to definitely get involved and get out there. So whether that be getting involved in a learning community or and joining a dance team, or, just going to the rec center to, play basketball with the same few guys every day, or whatever the case may be, just get involved and do something outside of the academics, because of course you are here to study, and the academics are the biggest part of your reason for being here. But you also want to make sure that you're getting involved, and UC has those opportunities for you. And then along with those 500 organizations, just to kind of give you some other examples, of course, the fraternity and sorority life is one, but we have everything from beekeeping club to, I think there's like a chess club. there's just a ton to do and a ton of things to get involved with. So it's definitely something that you should kind of look into if you do decide to come to the University of Cincinnati. And then, as I mentioned, D1 sports. So we are a Division I athletic school. And the cool thing about being a D1 school is that all of our students actually get free admission to certain games, typically home games. So all you need is your Bearcat ID, and that is kind of like your ticket into the Division I Bearcat athletics. So I know that getting involved on campus will be super important during your time at UC and in Cincinnati in general. But you also want to think about ways that you can connect with the city while you are a student. And something that I like to talk about is just the city of Cincinnati itself. Myself personally, I'm from Cincinnati, born and raised. So I went to high school in Cincinnati. I went to college in Kentucky, but I came back obviously, and I'm working in the city of Cincinnati. But there's just so much that the city has to offer you. So, we're actually home to 9 Fortune 500 companies. So 9 Fortune 500 companies are actually headquartered right here in our city. So of course, with UC being one of the larger schools here, guess what? Our students get co-ops, they get internships, they get job opportunities. And I always tell students, no matter where you decide to go, no matter where you're looking, make sure that you're looking at the surrounding city as well to see what that city has to offer you, not only as a student, but as a potential professional once you graduate. So beginning your journey as a Bearcat. So basically, we are a Common App school. So if you're not familiar with the Common App or do not know what that is, the Common App is a common application where about 800 plus institutions are members of. University of Cincinnati, we are a member, and it allows you to apply to multiple different schools at one time, which is really, really cool. But at the University of Cincinnati, for as far as applying, what you'll need to send us, I'll scroll down here a little bit. I don't know why I don't know if you guys can see this white piece down at the bottom, but yeah. So anyway, a couple things that we'll need from you in order to complete an application for UC. Of course, we'll need your official high school transcripts. You can request those from your high school. So typically high school counselors are really good at assisting our students with getting those transcripts sent over. You'll need your ACT and or SAT scores if you are wanting to submit those. I want to let you guys know that we have gone test optional. So basically what that means is you can opt in or out of submitting those test scores. Now, there are a couple programs that do require test scores still, and that is if you are interested in the College of Nursing, if you're interested in the University Honors Program, and if you are interested in early childhood education. Those three programs actually require that you submit test scores. Every other academic program at UC, test scores are optional now, including our scholarships. So if you're, as long as you meet the early action deadline, which I'll talk about here in a second, you'll still be considered for the scholarships that we have, and that's test optional as well. But the last thing here that you'll need to submit as well is your at least one letter of recommendation. And that can come from a teacher or a counselor. Some students have even had employers. So if you have a part-time job or something, your employer can write you a recommendation letter as well. And this is that December 1st deadline that I was kind of speaking of when it comes to scholarships. So basically December 1st is the early action deadline. And what this does is it qualifies you for to be reviewed for scholarships and the University Honors Program. Another thing that I want to talk about with December 1 is that if you're interested in any of the competitive programs in colleges, December 1 is pretty much a hard deadline for those as well. So for instance, the College of Medicine, the College of Nursing, Linder College of Business, DAP, Engineering, those are 5 academic colleges where this December 1st early action deadline is going to be crucial. The only reason I say that is because they have limited numbers of seating in those specific programs in those colleges. And after December 1st, once those seats are gone, they're gone. So it's just very important that you apply on or before December 1st and have that completed application on or before December 1st to be considered for those programs and colleges. But then also going back to scholarships, if you're interested in any first year merit-based scholarships and the University Honors Program, December 1st is also going to be a hard deadline for those as well. And like I mentioned earlier, there's no extra applications for our honors program or the merit-based scholarships. You're automatically considered for those as long as you have your completed application in on or before December 1st. So breaking down some numbers here, I know we started out with numbers, but we're going to end with numbers as well. So tuition in state at the University of Cincinnati is $12,138. Out of state is $27,472. This is per year. So you would split that down the middle in half. And then of course, room and board, it kind of ranges there. So from 11,874 to about 14,640. Now with room and board, it just depends on the type of housing that you select. So of course, if you're on the traditional side of housing, it's going to be on that lower end there that's on the bottom of the screen here. But once you get into the suites and the apartment style housing, it can get up to almost $15,000 per year. So definitely something else to think about as a first year student or just a student in general coming to the University of Cincinnati. And then as I was speaking of scholarships, here is a list of the first year merit-based scholarships that we offer at the University of Cincinnati. As I mentioned, they are merit-based and you are automatically considered for these scholarships as long as you meet that early action December 1st deadline. One that I want to point out to you is the Cincinnatus Presidential Scholarship. This is a very competitive scholarship. Typically, we select about 10 to 12 students per year for the whole entire incoming first year class for this scholarship. And it is full tuition fees and room and board. And then I guess I'll talk about the Darwin T. Turner Scholar Program as well. This is a full in-state tuition scholarship as well as your fees. And with the Darwin T. Turner Scholarship, this is typically for underrepresented multicultural students. So for instance, first generation students, students from rural backgrounds, African-American students, Latino students, those are the type of students, just underrepresented populations of students are typically the ones that qualify for that specific scholarship. And that is pretty much all that I have for you guys today. I wanted to try to get through that fairly quickly so that we could kind of get to the Q&A portion because I know you guys probably have some questions. So I'll turn on my video here. And I guess actually before we kick this off, I'll go ahead and let Alexis go ahead and introduce herself to you guys and give you, I guess, a little bit about herself. So Alexis, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Alexis Gemelis. I am a third year here at the University of Cincinnati, majoring in medical sciences and minoring in public health. I'm originally from the Cleveland, Ohio area, and then I'm a tour guide or a Roar tour guide for the university, but outside of Roar guides, I'm also a resident advisor in one of our halls on campus. You can tell I'm in my room right now. And then I'm also part of Outland Healthcare, which is an LGBTQ oriented healthcare group on campus.
Thank you, Alexis. All right, so do we have any questions? Oh, yeah, one just popped up. And Alexis, I guess I'll go ahead and let you answer these if you'd like.
Yeah, so this person asked, how and where do you find the scholarships to apply for? Are you automatically enrolled in them? So Courtney, feel free to jump in on this one at any
you're
time.
fine.
I do know that for, for the, a lot of the merit-based scholarships that we offer, so like the Cincinnati scholarships, as long as you do apply by that December 1st deadline, you are considered for those scholarships. And you would be like made aware if you like qualified for those scholarships once you got your like financial aid package after you apply and all of that. As far as like the Turner Scholar Program goes, I believe that's something you have to apply for, correct?
Yes, but you will be notified if you are, so if you are a candidate for that scholarship, or that it is a program. So if you do qualify for that program, you will be notified if you're a candidate for that, and then they will prompt you and say, hey, apply for this. But
Right.
for all of the scholarships, as long as you meet that December 1st early action deadline, you're automatically considered. So you don't have to like apply outside of your Common App application to be considered.
Right. And then I guess just my advice on scholarships outside of what the university offers is definitely talk to your high school counselors. When I was a senior in high school, my high school was able to help provide a lot of different scholarship opportunities, just like not just within my high school, but like my school district as a whole offered a lot of different scholarship opportunities, but also we're just able to like share opportunities available from the area I lived in. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to your high school counselors as well for information on scholarships separate from like UC.
All right, do we have any other questions right now? Okay, well, I guess I'll ask you, Alexis, why did you choose UC?
Yeah, of course. I love telling this story. So the main reason I applied to UC was for the medical sciences program. And I'll go ahead and gush about MedSci a little bit. Medical sciences is the only undergraduate program that's housed directly within the College of Medicine. So it's a super, super neat program, definitely very advantageous for wanting to get into a career in healthcare, especially as like a pre-med student or a pre-PA student. And so that's the reason I applied to UC for the most part. And I also applied to a similar competitive program at a different school. And so in my senior year of high school, I was accepted into medical sciences here at UC and then waitlisted at this program at this other school. And I kind of had this big dilemma my senior year, this like senior year crisis, because I didn't know what to do or where to go. And so it literally, like very literally 3 in the morning one night in April, I was like, you know what, I have to go for it. And so I accepted my admission here to the University of Cincinnati, and it's literally, I think, the best decision I've ever made. I fell in love with UC, not just for medical sciences, but for the campus as a whole. The campus is beautiful. I love the people here, and Cincinnati as a city is definitely really cool, and certainly has become my new home. I don't go back to Cleveland very often anymore just because I love being here so much. So yeah, I basically decided to come here on kind of like a whim of faith and hope, and it's definitely the best decision I've ever made. So
Okay, I think we got another question in there, Alexis. Where can you view the inside of the dorms?
Yes, yes. So we have some lovely previews of our residence hall rooms available for you on our housing website. If you literally just like Google search UC housing, you'll be able to find the housing website for the university. And on the website, we offer 360-degree previews of, I would say, almost every like residence hall we have through the university. At the very minimum, an example of like every different style. And the rooms that they show you on the housing website are lived in rooms. It's not just like a preview of an empty room that you see. So if you want to get like a better idea of what our residence hall rooms look like, I would definitely check out the housing website.
Okay. Do we have any other questions from students? I know some are probably typing. So while you guys are typing, I have a question for you, Alexis.
Okay, go for it.
So I know with like COVID going on, what
Mhm.
does your day look like now? And how are you adjusting to the new routine?
What routine? It's definitely been a very strange semester, to say the least. And like specifically in my third year of med sci and my third year as a pre-medical student, this is just like historically a more challenging year academically, I would say. Thankfully, because medical sciences is a smaller program, and like once you get into some of your like upper class courses, they do get quite small. And so because of our smaller class sizes, I actually have been able to have some like blended in-person class opportunities this semester, which has definitely helped like kind of maintain a routine, and also just helps like understand the material. I'm very glad I can attend my biochemistry class in person, because if I couldn't, I would not be passing biochemistry by any means. So I'm very thankful for that part. Otherwise though, I think it's really, really helpful to kind of like make a schedule for yourself. I have a lot of friends and residents in my building who are just like totally online, which can certainly be challenging, not just because, you know, you might have to teach yourself the material more than in a normal classroom setting, but also just like finding the motivation to get stuff done can be difficult sometimes. So I always like to recommend like, you know, like plan out a schedule for yourself, because even just like writing down a schedule might help you stick to one better. Also, literally just getting outside of your room to study and do work. I study way better when I'm not in my room, because then I'm can hold myself a little more accountable to get things done. And I have a lot of friends and residents who are the same way as well. So
Thank you. All right. Do we have any questions, guys? No, quite. You guys are a quiet group. You can ask us anything. I mean, you have me, I work in admissions, and then you also have Alexa. She's a student. So you can feel free. Don't be shy, guys. You guys can
yeah,
ask
literally
us.
anything about
Yeah.
involvement or campus, or I mean, I've got a plethora of information up here. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have one last question that I think might benefit students, and it might answer some of their questions. So,
Of course.
what advice would you give like a first year prospective student coming to UC?
Okay. I think, wow, this is literally going to sound so cliche, but my biggest advice is literally find a way to get involved. Maybe not as soon as you can. Like that, definitely take the time to adjust to coming into college, because that can look really different for a lot of different people. Like when I came into UC my first year, I very literally took my first semester to just like focus on classes and adjust to a college schedule, and like just meet people and relax, because I definitely burnt myself out a lot in high school. So I really wanted that first semester to just adjust and relax and figure out what my plan was. But then I started getting really involved in my second semester, and that definitely helped me not just meet a lot of other people and make a lot of new friends that I wouldn't have met otherwise, but also just kind of like fuel my excitement to be here and fuel my passion for UC. and propel me forward like as I moved into my second year. So definitely take the time to self-care and adjust as you come into college for the first time. And then literally just find any way to get involved, and it will automatically make your experience like 1,000 times better. So
Yes, I can second that. Even though I'm not a student now, I was a student once. All right, so we actually have a question here that popped up. It says, can I just come visit the campus even though you're not doing actual tours? Can I set up a meeting with an admissions director in my field for that same day?
So what I can't tell, well, okay, so all right, so there's a couple answers to this question. Yes, you can do self-guided tours right now. Right, correct, yes. So that is an option if you want to do a self-guided tour. We also do have virtual tours available for you to just explore the campus without even actually coming here. We are offering some in-person tours at the moment. I'm not sure, we don't have very many left for this fall semester, and I'm not sure what the availability on those are like right now, because we are keeping our numbers very small, obviously for safety reasons. I'm not sure how the spring semester is going to look yet. Do you know, Courtney?
So those haven't rolled out, and that's why I unmuted as well, because it is basically with the tours currently, the in-person guided tours are kind of like an invite only. I hate to say it like that, but it is kind of like an invite only because of COVID. So only students who live in Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky are allowed to tour. However, as Alexis, as she mentioned, there are literally only 10 people to a tour group. So it gets a little sticky there. And that's just because of the amount of people that we can have in the building at one time and those sorts of things, just for safety reasons. But yeah, that's pretty much, you nailed it.
And then as far as like setting up a meeting with an admissions counselor, you can do that online, correct?
And that's another thing. Yes, we are actually, we do have so all of our information is on the website. So you can feel free to contact your admissions counselor at any time. If you are a person that wants to like set up a Zoom meeting or something of that sort, you just talk to your admissions counselor that's for your specific high school or your state, I should say. And they can set that up for you if they have that availability. But we also have like phone call hours, so you can set up a meeting appointment that way as well.
Cool. Great. You're welcome. Of course. Happy to answer your questions.
So any other questions for us? I know we have 8 people on. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? And if not, I can put the information or the contact information for admissions in the chat. And then I can also put my personal email. So, I mean, since I've been the one kind of talking at you guys' heads, me and Alexis here, I can actually put my personal email there as well. I think I can do that, Miss Teresa. But yeah, I can go ahead and put that information somewhere, or I can give it to Miss Teresa and she can hand it off to you guys.
Yeah, Courtney, we actually don't have a way to do a chat. We just had that Q&A, but I was actually going to ask if you wanted to maybe like write that up or just let them know what your contact info is. And I will definitely send you guys, actually StriveScan will be sending Courtney as a list of all the students that attended, as well as I'll email you the students that were in attendance today too.
Okay, that'll work. So I guess what I can do here is, since we have everybody here, I don't know if it'll be easier for me to just type it on a Word doc, or I can just say it. It's pretty short. So my email directly is cook3ck@uc.edu. So I'll spell that out. It's cook, COOK, 3, so 3, ck@uc.edu. And we'll follow up as well. Since we'll have your contact information, we'll go ahead and follow up with you guys as well.
Well, thank you so much, Courtney and Alexis. I know myself, I learned a lot about UC today. I hope you students that were in attendance as well did. Thank you guys so much for attending. We will have a quick survey, which is about 4 questions long, and it'll appear after you close out the window. Also, again, just a reminder, there are many more sessions available at the oacac.org website. Please make sure you check out that lineup. And again, this session was recorded, so if you might have missed something that Courtney or Alexa shared with you, please feel free to go back and review that. And check out the admissions website for UC if you have any questions and how to connect with your counselor. Thank you guys so much for attending. Y'all have a wonderful year. Bye-bye, guys.